It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Sorry, guys, I was chatting in the chat room. Goodness, I have a frog in my throat on top of it. I was chatting in the chat room and missed the start of the show. Anyway, all right, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast on this Friday, October the 18th. Brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and of course by chilliescruises. Again, not a whole lot of news today, but the lead story, a cruise ship finds a historic vessel, which I found fascinating. Bar Harbor to consider repeal. 5 MSC ships in the Caribbean. A Comic-Con cruise. Viking adds a new Nile ship, and of course a weather update. We've also got Cindy Molle in Malta. Our Cindy Lee, a picture from her from Naples before she left. Emma leaving Queen Anne, Sylvia at the Orlando Museum of Art, and a whole bunch from Elizabeth in Mykonos, one of the most beautiful places in the world. That and lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. Okay, guys, today is National Chocolate Cupcake Day. I'm okay with that. Let's go get cupcakes, and I'll be more than happy to eat one. This day in 1963, the French space program launches the first cat into space. A black and white tuxedo stray named Felicity. Come on, tongue. Felicity spent 15 minutes in space and returned to Earth 15 minutes later. So the French sent a cat to space. I don't recall this, folks. And I thought I followed the space program pretty close back in those days. But I don't remember a cat going up, nor do I remember any other cats going up, come to think about it. But anyway, that happened this day in history, back in 1963. All right, if you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. Speaking of the podcast, so last night, I finally finished editing from the whale watching tour in Boston that Hot Air Tom and I took. And I got it posted, and since there's not a whole lot of news this morning, I thought, well, I'll share that with you before we get started. Long Wharf in Boston, Hot Air Tom and I boarded the Boston Whale Watch cruise aboard a high-speed catamaran. The ramps getting on the ship, since it was wheelchair accessible, were a little bit dicey, but doable. So I was able to get on the ship for the cruise. We traveled to Stellwagen Bank National Marine Sanctuary, a stretch of open water at the mouth of Massachusetts Bay that serves as rich feeding ground for whales, dolphins, seabirds, and more. The onboard naturalist reported that she had sighted 2 adults and 1 juvenile whale.
Happened up way about at our 2-3 o'clock, cruising along with us. You can see its whole body. It's so cool. What an amazing look for us. Because the cast is still pretty small, we're able to see just about its full body. body, which is not typical. It's usually just a portion of the body, but we're able to see this amazing animal. So beautiful, very, very cool.
Yep. I'm just waiting for Mama to come up and flap her tail at us again. That was the neatest thing I've seen this close ever.
Another good look at those coral flippers, bright white.
Quite get the tail out.
I know that these dives are not as deep one because we go just packing one. Maybe going down on a shallower dive there. So this is very cool. It looks like we've got...
All in all, we spent a little over an hour connected to those 3 whales. I thanked our lovely naturalist for her great work and the crew for getting us there. And then I sat back with an adult beverage to toast our success. What a great whale watch it was from Boston on the high-speed catamaran. All right, that was just here a couple weeks ago on a high-speed catamaran. Number one, it was great that I was able to get on it in my wheelchair, something that you don't usually get to do. And yeah, getting on it was a little, like I said, it was a little dicey. The ramps are not the easiest to handle, but it's definitely doable, and I highly recommend it for anybody just to be able to go. All right, so we got a couple other things here this morning. This is from Cindy Molle, who was in Malta, and then had a wine tasting and a wine pairing. She's on the Caribbean Princess. And this was from our Cindy Lee when she visited Naples. And this was just was a picture when they were on the beach. I'm not even sure which beach that was. I just liked the picture. This is Emma. She said she got up at 6:30 and got out on deck at 7:15 and was off the boat at 7:30. That was like the quickest she's ever gotten off a ship. But anyway, she left the Queen Anne this morning. And this was Sylvia giving tours at the Orlando Museum of Art, which is awesome. All right, now these aren't in any order, and I don't know what a lot of them are, but this is from Elizabeth. She had an entire day ashore at Mykonos. The last time they were in Mykonos, they were only there for like 3 hours. She had the entire day. Obviously, the weather was just absolutely beautiful for her to meander around. She said the one thing that bothered her the most is it was really crowded, as there were 5 ships in port. And as a result, she was having trouble getting pictures without having tourists in the middle of all of them. But I'd say she did a pretty good job with that. This, of course, is Mykonos in Greece. And she will be in Santorini tomorrow and hopes to be able to send us some more pictures tomorrow. So that's Elizabeth on location from Greece. And no, I'm not giving Elizabeth a hard time about anything today. All right, I'll be back with the news after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. Taking a look at the weather today, there's 2 systems. One toward the middle of the graphic there, a poorly defined trough of low pressure is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorm extending from the northern Leeward Islands northward for a couple hundred miles over adjacent Atlantic waters. Development, if any, of this disturbance should be slow to occur while it moves quickly westward to west-northwestward around 20 miles an hour, passing near or just to the north of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico today, then near Hispaniola and the southeastern Bahamas on Saturday. By this weekend, upper-level winds should strike it down completely. Formation of the system's low at 10% over the next 48 hours, 10% over the next 7 days. Not so with the orange X there to the left of the graphic. Widespread showers and thunderstorms continue across the northwestern Caribbean Sea in association with a broad area of low pressure that is gradually becoming better defined to the north of eastern Honduras. Environmental conditions appear conducive for some additional development over the next day or two, and a short-lived tropical depression or storm could form before the system moves inland over Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula on Saturday. Regardless of the development, locally heavy rainfall is likely across portions of Central America and southern Mexico. You're looking at a 50% chance of development in the next 48 hours, 50% chance over the next 7 days. Clearly a system to watch for Central America and southern Mexico. A submarine tour from Seabourn Pursuit made a monumental discovery on Monday off the coast of Chile. The tour, a submarine experience exploring near Alejandro Selkirk Island in Chile's Juan Fernandez Archipelago, was guided by a local fisherman, Gino Perez, whose family has long been involved with the island's history. On this particular expedition, the group was seeking the Titania, a German supply ship lost in 1914. Weather conditions were ideal for the dive, and with Perez's knowledge of the ship's suspected location, the submarine was able to navigate to the location and eventually sight the wreck on the ocean floor, roughly 4.25 nautical miles northwest of Selkirk, 95 meters, that's 311 feet deep. The island's harbor master has confirmed that no other submarine or diver has visited the wreck, marking this as a true discovery. Local fishermen had occasionally found metal fragments believed to be part of the Titania, but the vessel had never been officially located until now. The entire event was part of Seabourn Pursuit's current South Pacific voyage between Melanesia, French Polynesia, and San Antonio, Chile. The 20-night sailing departed French Polynesia on September 27th and arrived in San Antonio yesterday. Why not join me on the MSC Grandiosa cruise from Port Canaveral, Florida on February the 14th, 2026. It's 8 days and 7 nights with stops in Nassau, Ocean Key Marine Reserve, and Puerto Plata. The nice thing about this cruise, it'll be my first chance to be on the Grandiosa. That's one thing, but it's also has excellent pricing. Prices start at $588 per person, including taxes and port charges. Solo prices start at $738, or if you're solo, the package with drinks and Wi-Fi is only $1,052, including taxes and port charges. Dynamite prices on the MSC Grandiosa sailing February 14th, 2026 from Port Canaveral. Call me 434-258-9264 and we'll see you on the Grandiosa. The November election ballot in Bar Harbor, Maine, one of the top seasonal ports in New England, will offer voters the chance to repeal a 2022 law that capped daily cruise arrivals at 1,000 and replace it with one that roughly triples the number of people allowed to disembark in the destination. Under the initiative put forward by town officials, the November 5th ballot increases the daily limit to 3,200 cruise guests, which is just a few hundred less than the number allowed before the 2022 vote. With the daily cap lowered to 1,000 per day, even mid-sized ships were unable to debark all those who wanted to leave the ship for excursions. The lower cap, which took effect in the 2024 season, prompted many cruise ships to abandon Bar Harbor as a port of call, leading to a dramatic loss of revenue for businesses and tour operators in the town. The election battle article, Article 4, also would change the way in which cruise ship visits are managed. If approved, the article would require that cruise lines reach agreements directly with the town, enabling town officials, rather than the pier owners, to enforce the daily limits. There will be more ways to have fun in the sun this winter, with MSC Cruises revealing on October 17th that it will have 5 ships sailing in the Caribbean from American ports during the season. Sailing from Port Miami, Port Canaveral, and New York City, the cruise line will offer more than 120 sailings across the region's most beloved destinations between October and March of 2025. All 5 MSC cruise ships in the region, including MSC Seascape, MSC Seaside, MSC Meraviglia, MSC Seashore, and MSC Divina, will call at the cruise port's private Bahamian island of Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve. The vessels will also make frequent stops in Nassau. 3 of the MSC ships, MSC Seascape, MSC Seaside, and MSC Meraviglia, will also visit San Juan regularly. For those looking to explore Cozumel, MSC Seascape and MSC Seaside will also join the MSC Seashore in calls to the island renowned for snorkeling and Mayan history. With Ocean Key a primary destination for MSC Cruises winter voyages, the cruise line's MSC Foundation has also announced its new Marine Conservation Center will be completed ahead of the season. The state-of-the-art facility, which works to restore and protect coral reefs in Ocean Key, will include a coral nursery with 5 species and 13 genotypes of reef-building coral. Phase 2 of the project, introducing educational facilities, expected to be finished by April of 2025. MSC Cruises will expand to a record 7 ships in the U.S. during the winter of 25 and 26, including Grandiosa, sailing from Galveston, Texas. And of course, we've got the upcoming World America, or World America, whichever way you want to pronounce it, under construction at Chantier d'Atlantique in France, is being tailored for the North American market and will offer more voyages to the Caribbean from its Miami home port when it debuts in April of 2025. So that's good news and good stuff ahead for MSC Cruises in the States, in the Caribbean. The inaugural Comic-Con cruise, which aims to bring the experience of the annual San Diego Comic-Con convention to Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas, will be quite the star-studded event. The 4-night sailing is meant to be a celebration of popular culture and beloved fandoms, and Comic-Con International has now unveiled which specific stars will be creating unforgettable experiences for fans when the ship embarks from Tampa on February the 5th, 2025. When it was previously announced that actress and singer Felicia Day would be one of the cruise guest hosts, it was not known that celebrities like Darwick Davis, George Takei, Ernie Hudson, Mary McDonald, Tricia Heifer, Grace Park, Raka Sharma, Amy Jo Johnson, Scott Grimes, Greg Grunberg, Virginia Gardner, Grace Carolyn Curry, Jonah Ray, and Ted Lang would all be joining her. Entertainment industry leaders like Rod Perlman, Bob Bergen, voice of Porky Pig, makeup artist Thomas Supernant, and cosplay guest Yaya Han and Cowbud Crunchies will also be making appearances. Like the convention on land, there will also be an artist alley, which is typically a section of the exhibition area where influencers and crafters make and sell art as a special part of the bigger vendor area. In this case, this is where cruisers will be able to find big names like Amanda Connor, Adam Hughes, Jimmy Palmiotti, Afua Richardson, Kip Rasmussen, Sarah Meyer, and Joe Wose. There will also be representatives from Bob Ross Incorporated and artists Justin Thompson and Mary Shine, who will help celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Peanuts franchise. Charlie Brown, of course. Viking has officially taken delivery of its new Nile River vessel, the Viking Sobek. Following a formal ceremony at Mazara Shipyard in Cairo, the ship, with a capacity of 82 guests, joins Viking's expanding fleet on the Nile and will operate the company's 12-day Pharaohs and Pyramids itinerary. We have the equipment you need to stay mobile. Whether you need a wheelchair, scooter, power chair, rollator, oxygen, or other pieces of mobility equipment, Scootaround, powered by Will, can help. Once you've booked your rental, we can deliver it to wherever you need. For your mobility needs, contact me or call Scootaround at 888-441-7575. Use SRN 11137 for the best rates. All right, and that puts an end to the news portion of today's show. Friday's show at that. Let's go see who's in the chat room. Of course, the show started off with me trying to figure out why I hate Mike. We do have a couple people from X. Again, the folks from X, I'll say hello to you. I can see what you post, but none of my chat room can see it live. And we still haven't gotten that out. But anyway, I certainly appreciate all you guys being here. Got a nice number in the house today as we're over 100. That's always good. All right, so Mike's with us from the other side of the pond. And he said, "Sorry to hear you hate me." And I said, "What?" Well, it had to do with the fact that Mike was a doctor. He was a family doctor, and I have made disparaging comments about medical people and hospitals and that, yeah. But Mike, if it makes you feel any better, my family doctor, Dr. David, who's been on the show before, I like him. I don't like anybody else, but I like him. As a matter of fact, I've told Dr. David that as long as I'm alive, he's not allowed to retire. When I kick the bucket, he can quit. But until then, he's got to work. So that's Dr. David. Joanne's with us. Good morning, Joanne. Kenneth's with us up in Minnesota. Yes, I said I hated the medical profession. I hate most of it. I especially hate the medical profession when they screw up and leave me sitting for 3 hours. By the way, the follow-up for that, I haven't heard from these people again to reschedule the MRI after they screwed up the orders. So I called them yesterday, and the girl that was on the phone got highly offended because I used the word damn when I was explaining to her, that they need to get on the stick and reschedule this thing. And she comes up with a ridiculous excuse. The doctor hasn't been in the office for 3 weeks. There are other doctors there. So anyway, she says, well, I'll send it to somebody else and we'll see if they'll do it. Man, it's you people that wanted this damn test. I wasn't asking for it. That's when I got in trouble. So she was highly offended. Don't curse at me. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, Mike, I have problems with the medical profession in this country now, except for Dr. David. There's Hot Air Tom and there's Cindy. Good morning, Cindy. Is the cat story for real? Yeah, that was actually, he was, it wasn't a stray that jumped in a rocket. He was, he was the person to be shot up and back down. That was when they were testing to see if they could do it. And obviously the French never did very good with it because even though the cat survived, they never have, to my knowledge, have never sent anybody into space. But yeah, that's a true story. There's Frankie. Good morning, Frankie. There's Gary Older Dirt's with us. Frankie says, it's me, Frank. I'm here to join your live. That's great. You're always welcome here, Frankie. We do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then if anything big happens on the weekend, I'll jump in and do one on the weekend. There's the Track Twins. Glad to have you ladies with us. Hot Air Tom says, I love the Whale Watch video. Thank you, Hot Air Tom. I love the Whale Watch. Morning all. Katie's with us, says, great video. I watched it this morning. Thanks, Katie. Frank says, how you doing to the twins? Now, Frankie, since my other people in the chat room can't see your comment, that's why I put it up on the screen. I don't know that the twins perhaps if the twins are watching the show now, they'll see this. But it's not I use StreamYard, and there's, for some reason, different venues don't show live in the stream except to me. I mean, it shows to me, but all the other folks that are in the chat room can't see it. So it's really weird. There's Amy. Hi, Amy. Eleanor says you're on ship. Not right now. I'm at in my studio. I'll be going. My next cruise that I go on is November 16th, we're calling it the cruise ship Doctor Cruise. It's out of Port Canaveral. Hot Air Tom and Cindy will be on that one. And a whole bunch of people with the cruise ship Doctor folks. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a fun cruise. Hot Air Tom says, get that photo bomber out of the way. How rude to step in front of the famous YouTuber. Yeah, I know. Everybody's welcome here, Hot Air Tom. You know that. Cindy says, great video. Thank you, Cindy. There's Bob. Good morning, Bob. Have a great weekend. There's Todd, too. Good morning, Todd. Cindy says, now I remember that, Cindy says the beach picture of her was at Corfu in Greece. Amy says, Malta is my favorite Mediterranean port. Cindy says, highly recommend Mr. Taxi Driver in Naples. Had an awesome tour with them to Ravello, Amalfi, and Sorrento. Very good. Well, there's Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen. How's things up in Ohio, Gretchen? Hot Air says, better yet, join Hot Air Tom and Cindy on the Grandiosa for 14 days on February the 7th, 2026. And then welcome Chile halfway through our cruise. We can show Chile the ropes. Yeah, that'll be cool. I don't mind getting on a fresh ship and have somebody say, okay, this is here, this is here. This is how we do this here. Yeah, I can dig that. And the more the merrier. Sounds like reality is hitting Bar Harbor. Yeah, I think some people didn't make money this year like normal, and they're saying, oh, hold on. We got to go back and redo this crap. So they're voting on it again. Sounds like you're absolutely right there that reality set in, that you can't control the number of passengers come in and still make the same money. So Cindy says, so you will all be on the Grandiosa on February 14th. We are booked on Aqua February 22nd, but looking at possibly changing due to price. Yeah, well, that would be cool. I would be more than happy to welcome you on that, Cindy. That'd be great. And yeah, there is quite a difference in price from Aqua. I've been looking at Prima and Aqua, and yeah, no, I can't afford to book those until the prices come way down. So anyway, so I'll just sell on older ships. I don't mind doing that. If it'll say, I can take 2 older ships for what I'd spend for one of the newer ships. Same thing with Royal Caribbean. Well, those newer ships are way too expensive for me. Yeah, I'd love to get on Icon. But not and pay twice, what I'd pay on another ship. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for a Friday. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Of course, I will monitor things all weekend, and if need be, I'll come on live again. Thank you, guys, especially from X. We got a nice turnout from X today. We got 139 in the house currently, 127 of them from X. So that's about 85% of the audience is from X. So that's wonderful. I appreciate having all of you guys with us. Don't forget, guys, hit that thumbs up button. That'll help the channel out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, even you guys on X, come over to YouTube and subscribe. That'll help the channel out a lot. And then you'll be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. And you can access me that way and get in the chat room, and everybody will see what you're saying instead of just having to depend on me at the end of the show. So in the meantime, I'll still keep working with StreamYard trying to get them to fix this. But all right, guys, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fabulous day, everybody. I'm going to be working on cruise schedules this weekend. So you might have some news from me as we go along. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for being here. If I don't see you this weekend, I'll see you on Monday. Same time, same channel. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.